We have set up a new little studio.
I have an extra room in my apartment, luckily. And I decided to finally do something out of it.
Honestly, it's quieter here too.
Yeah, the window's not facing the road. So, yeah. And it's cute.
And we got mics and everything. Like, now we don't use just this one. For two, we have two proper mics.
Like, yeah, it's gonna be so much nicer.
I'm like so excited.
Me too.
I swear to God, if the audio is fucked up afterwards because of like us using this new program to like record it, I will be so pissed.
Cry.
I might cry too, honestly. Too much effort for it to not like work.
But like, it sounds already so nice just by hearing ourselves.
Oh, I can barely hear us.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I can barely hear us in my headphones. I think it's because I'm the host.
Maybe.
I think it plays for everyone who's invited and who's an audience member, but because I'm a host in the program, it doesn't play my voice to me.
But you should... How do you hear myself?
I barely hear you.
That's weird. I can hear like the eyes in your drink
clicking
when you're drinking. Yeah.
Is it too loud?
I mean, we might have to take a pause when we drink.
Let's talk about today's topic, which is...
We're gonna talk about the price of shows tickets dramatically increasing over the past few years, especially after COVID.
Oh wait, let me play the jingle of the music. We forgot to play the jingle, so I'm just gonna play the jingle right now.
What? Are they insane? How are we supposed to survive without any tunes?
Without any tunes.
Okay, you can go ahead.
I don't know where I stopped earlier. I think I was saying, so the prices, if you compare European like venue shows compared to North America, like I've already noticed a difference, but I was thinking it was mostly for like European bands and stuff coming to North America, maybe not as popular or something, so I don't know. Still doesn't make sense though.
I mean, I honestly, I think there's more scalpers here. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not entirely sure, honestly, because I did not go to many concerts until I was like, I believe maybe 17. And it's not because I didn't want to, but it's just because I was living in Siberia and there's literally no one there.
Yeah.
No one comes to perform in Siberia. And like, even local groups and whatever, I mean, all the local stuff, kind of like domestic artists and whatever, they were always a bit inappropriate, I guess, for a child to participate in. So I guess that, like, we just didn't have, like, teen stars or, like, young adult kind of situation without it being super inappropriate.
No, for sure. But yeah, because mainly I'm probably going to talk more about North America right now, because the most drastic changes I've noticed were North America. For some reason. So I found these numbers on like, I don't know how like accurate they are, but basically they're saying in 1996, so the average ticket price in North America was $25.80.
I'm sorry?
That was the average price.
Is that like inflation adjusted?
2021, it's almost $90 average price for a ticket. Even if minimum wage has increased, I don't think it's comparable to anything else that's increased over the years.
No, like I was talking to my mom about like, you know, like wage increases and whatever, and like their company is legit, like they tell you what inflation rate happened this year, but then they also tell you, yeah, we're not gonna match it. Oh, there's been an inflation of this amount, and let me just tell you about this while not doing anything about it. Like you kind of find out about it on your own. With my mom's work and then like office jobs, they tell you, they're like, yeah, it was like 7% increase, but we're not going to raise it more than 3%. And it's like, oh, so you're not matching shit. Why are you bringing it up then? Do you want people to get pissed? Like, we were still going to be pissed because we're not stupid. We're going to find out about it anyway. But you're literally being so arrogant.
Yeah. I found this all those numbers basically from 1997 to 2019. Concert tickets increased 250%. The price. Again, I don't know how accurate all of these are. I tried to find.
I mean, I would assume that it's pretty
posters and
accurate.
stuff. Yeah.
Because
I think so too.
even since 2014, I noticed that has been a really big increase.
Yeah.
Like, even with big groups like One Direction,
Yeah.
like right now, I would say that like One Direction was probably the size of like kind of like BTS, but BTS I think is bigger than One Direction was, just because they are so big in Asia too.
True.
And I don't think that One Direction was that massive in Asia. I think that it was still big. I think that they probably had a lot of fans there too, depending on which country we're talking about.
Yeah.
But because they have like Asia always had their own like strong entertainment industry, I would say that they probably weren't as big there. But BTS is big everywhere, so I would assume that it's like there's a difference. But I am like 100% sure that I wouldn't be able to buy tickets for the floor, like kind of being close to the stage for $110 or whatever that I paid for the One Direction at their peak.
Yeah.
That was their peak when they were at their most popular, and I still got like a ticket that was really good. I was really close to the stage, and like it's just crazy, because the thing is, it's like one thing to talk about smaller artists, like of course there's still tickets, like you can go and see like FKA Twigs, for example, for a reasonable price, and like in a smaller venue where you can actually see her. She's not an ant on the goddamn. Okay, good.
You'll understand probably.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I'm like confused about, because back then I could buy this concert ticket for a pop group that's really big. Because the thing is, we're talking about, like, for example, Dua Lipa and stuff like that, right? So, like, all of them, The Weeknd, it's basically impossible to go to a concert and have a good seat without paying, like, $2,000 or some shit. It's just crazy. I don't understand how this happened.
This is kind of like how I started looking into it, because I saw Dua Lipa coming to Vancouver, and I was like, oh, like, there might be a few cheap tickets and stuff. The cheapest, I think, was, like, $200, $300. Going up to like 1,000, 2,000, like crazy, insane amount of money.
In fucking nosebleeds. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Nosebleeds?
Like the cheapest possible. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So a few things people were saying. Like I checked articles. I checked like people's opinions. Like there's so many videos actually on YouTube about that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying compared to like back then in the 90s, we didn't have streaming like platforms and stuff, and like people were buying more CDs, so the artists would make more money out of their CDs that they're making nowadays. So that would be one thing to take in consideration. Like, I don't know, when we still buy CDs and vinyls, but how many?
I mean,
compared to before, like. I mostly listen to music online, and I'll buy the CDs that have like a really interesting content, like something added to the music. Like,
That's the thing. I think that the problem is that Western artists don't put any effort into their packaging, except like, I mean, sometimes they do, but even then, it's just like the bare minimum. Like there's like, for example, a very small photo book inside of the CD or something like that. They don't make an actual, like they are nowhere near the effort that Eastern artists put into their work, especially Korean ones. I know that Japanese ones also have that kind of stuff, but to be honest, Japanese albums are way too expensive for what you actually get. I've seen people unbox different types of things because I love ASMR of unboxing, so I watch tons of different types of shit that's like just unboxing stuff. And when I saw like Japanese albums, I was like, what the hell is this? Why are they so expensive while they don't have even like half of what you get in the Korean ones? And I think that it's even worse with like Western artists. I know that like you can buy a CD for like $15, for example, or like $13 or whatever. And an album of like an Eastern artist would cost you like from 25 to 30 or something like that, right? If there's like stores, K-pop stores around you or something like that, and you don't have to pay shipment and other shit. But technically speaking, if you are Korean and you are living in Korea and you want to buy an album, it actually makes sense because whoever you're supporting, they put so much effort into the concept visually too, that it makes sense that you would pay for a visual representation of that album if you like what they're about, you know? I know a lot of snobs, like music snobs around me, who buy, like, they buy vinyls and stuff like that, right? But when I told them that, like, I really like inclusions, like I buy physical albums for the inclusions because if I like the concept of the project, I want things about it or things that are represented to be like in my room physically too. And I had like multiple, like, it's mostly guys who are like snobs who are saying these things, and they were like, oh, I don't understand, why would you need that, it's all only about the music. And I'm like, yeah, that's the thing, that because they're also making music, so maybe that's why they're also like this, but they have this like attitude of it's like a gift of, you know, like you're giving the gift of music. It's like the fact that it's experimental or whatever is already enough. And it's like, no, the thing is, your concept is weak. Your concept for the project is weak. Even because they think that just giving yourself a restriction, like, for example, I'm going to make all of this like songs with no features or no input or like no samples or whatever. Like they come up with like a rule and they think that that's enough of a concept for a project. And that's like,
especially
honey.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Everything's visual.
I know, but it's like, I understand if you don't want to be doing the visual part, but then collaborate.
Surround yourself with a team.
Collaborate. Or, you know, like, or maybe don't release albums and release singles.
Yeah.
And because you don't have a concept as to why you put them all together. You have to have a reason for literally everything that you do when you make art projects. But maybe it's because I'm like, I have a degree in concept art, and that's why I'm like, where's the concept? Why is it so weak? Why don't you have a reason for anything that you do? But I think that it's essential.
Even as, like, I studied communication, marketing, graphic design, like, this is how you sell a product, no matter what. You can't just be like, come and be like, here's my music, and everybody's gonna buy it. Like, it's
And also
all
get
about
angry.
social medias, like, having good video concept, because even back in the day, music videos were so important.
Yeah.
Because this was the only way to, like, have a visual aspect of your music on TV. Like, if you made it into MTV or whatever, like, it was huge. So there was already concept back then.
I mean, it's always about concept. Even in the past, when like it was classical music, when classical composers were making a project, especially those ones that were pushing the envelope and were more experimental or something, they always had a purpose for like what they're doing. They were trying to, for example, describe the changes of the weather or some shit. Like, they still have a concept for whatever they're doing and why they grouped all of those pieces together. And they kind of do like variations on melodies or on musical passages and whatever, and that's why they group things together. There's still a reason.
So yeah, with the idea of people listening to music and consuming music online, they do get more exposure. Like, all of them have YouTube channels. I don't know how it works with Spotify and Apple Music and stuff. Like, how do they get paid from like the streams and stuff? Not too sure about that.
You have to get a lot of streams to even get cents. It's very low pay.
Wow.
Like, it's insanely low. I honestly don't know why and how it's even like.
Because we do pay to listen to the music. Like, they have advertising if you don't want to pay monthly.
Exactly. It's not free. It's not free. That's what I don't understand, because they basically like they charge you per month, right? Which is like, it's kind of like I don't know, Netflix. Other streaming services have figured it out how to like, they make revenue, but they also pay and pay normal rates, so people actually want to have their stuff on there. So I don't understand how they get away with it, to be honest. I think it's because there's no other way around it, and music is maybe honestly, even with a show, if you have a show or a movie, even though it's so long, people consume it really quickly and spit it out really quickly too. So even with that type of media where you have an hour or 3 hours to speak to an audience, it's still very quick turnaround. So I think that maybe that's why it's really difficult for the artists to have their music monetized through this kind of streaming services and whatever, because on those streaming services, the people who run them, they know that you're competing for attention, and they have the upper hand, so they can do whatever they want. It's kind of like, it's not right, it's morally fucked up, but that's what they do. I have a feeling that that's what it's about, basically.
Well, 'cause, if you don't have your music streaming, who's gonna listen to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one thing. And then, so the biggest thing I found, you've heard about Ticketmaster in North America?
Yeah.
Okay. So nowadays in North America, if you want to buy concert tickets, you can, because I'm talking about the big venues and the big artists. The only way you can get those tickets are through Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, you have your ticket, and most of the time there's like, recently Harry Styles ticket sale like went insane in, I think it was Toronto, where like people tried to buy these tickets. They needed to have like a special fan access to be able to have like a pre-sale access to it, but like still most tickets when...
I mean, that's very common to have like a pre-sale for fans that have been there for a while. That's what Japanese bands do.
But when they did that, like only like a few, very few amount of people got access to it, and they still had to line up with over like 3,000, 4,000, I don't know how many people, to be able to get to the sale, but still not be potentially able to get like sales out of it. And then once they reached the sale, they found out that like most tickets were around $1,000, like for the cheapest.
Okay, how did that? Because I know that most of the time where when the ticket prices are extremely hiked up, what happened is usually scalpers, like people buy in bulk and then they resell it. Is that what happened with Harry, or did he literally do that right away?
So the thing is with Ticketmaster, they own most of the big venues in North America, which means they have the monopoly of it. And then, so I watched a few interviews and stuff from CBC, like there was a few channels from North America where they went to a convention, and basically the journalists who went there as like anonymous talked to Ticketmaster, who was that, about scalpers creating different accounts in order to like get all these tickets, reselling, how the process was working and stuff. And basically they're saying that they give them priority and like they just give them full access to it.
They give access to
the scalpers. They have like a secret scalper program where it could, because they also get money out of it. So
wait, how did they find out that information? They just offered it to them because they asked?
So they had a booth at that convention, like officially Ticketmasters.
Yeah.
And then the journalists who went as anonymous basically asked the question very openly, and they're like basically saying that they have no issue with that. They just almost have agreements with the scalpers because they have the monopoly.
So they just volunteer that information as soon as someone asks them? How is that possible? Like, are they dumb? Did they not realize that there's going to be a scandal?
Well, there has been. There has been, like, they've been sued. Like, even already back in the 90s, Pearl Jam tried to avoid making concerts in venues that were owned by Ticketmasters, and I think it's called Live Nation, because they knew they had the monopoly, and it was like they would sell tickets for crazy amount of money even back then. Like I think it was like in the mid 90s, and because they own so many venues and stuff, like I think they tried to sue them and lost the lawsuit, and then like I'm pretty sure they had to tour and like have concert in some of their venues, and then it's just insane.
You know, I think that if the artists want to kind of push back on that, they could start touring small venues. And I know that there's too many fans to tour the small venue or whatever, but I think that it would also slow down in terms of like they wouldn't have to fly that often and whatever, and it would be more of a relaxed time for them if they stayed in each city for like a week or two and performed like 5 shows. Like if you perform at the Orpheum, like in Vancouver, I don't know how many people there, like how many seats there are. I don't think that there's that many, but I feel like if you perform there for a week, then you would kind of get it all back. And I know that it's too much like of performing like more and whatever. And I guess it's like, it's not an ideal situation, but if you really, really want to stick it to them, if you are a massive artist who's tired of them inflating the prices or doing all of this shit behind your back or forcing you to like not have any other choice but to work with them and whatever, like if you really, really wanted to, I think you could have kind of stick it to them by like just avoiding them entirely.
Or, there should be laws about it, maybe.
I mean, yeah. In general, there's supposed to be a lot more regulation.
Bigger venues in Europe, I'm mostly talking about France because this is what I know. But the same artists I got to see there in big venues that are privately owned, the tickets price were a lot lower than North America. Because also on Ticketmasters, sometimes the fees are way more expensive than the actual price of the tickets, which is insane.
I don't know what the fuck the fees are about, to be honest, either, because the thing is, we are Canadian. We are not in... I mean, I'm Canadian, citizenship-wise. But that's the thing. People don't pay... basically, Ticketmaster doesn't own our venues, as far as I know. Some of them maybe, but the ones that I go to, like the Orpheum or whatever, they're really small. They're more like government funded, I'm pretty sure.
Like I'm talking about the huge venues.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We don't really have...
I bought ticket recently for Stromae, and same thing. It's not Ticketmaster, it's called Ticket Leader. I got access like in advance because I follow the artist and there was a link. I like genuinely had no idea this existed. So I got pre-sale tickets for like, it's at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver. So I got the tickets, I think they're like near the stage, like lower section, general admission. It was $50 each. I came back today to check how much they were on sale for. It was $300 each for the same tickets I bought a few months ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I always buy things way ahead.
I know.
But that's like, it's really hard to plan though for like around concerts and whatever. But it's just like, there's no other way.
And like, there was no fees on it either. Like, it was $3 fee for each ticket. Yeah,
that's really interesting. Yeah, because like whenever you buy something on Ticketmaster, there's like at least $30.
Yeah, that's what I got it from Ticket Leader.
And that's the thing that you're like, you just sit around and you're like, okay, so the price of the ticket, I thought it included like security and other people who are in the venue because the artist pays for renting the venue, right? So all of the amenities and stuff like that are included. Except for like other things, like for example like guitar players or some shit, but it's all included in the price of the ticket.
Exactly.
How the fuck, what are the fees for?
I mean, it's probably like using like $3 I understand because you're like maybe using the website or whatever, like I don't know, $3 I can understand, whatever. But when it's like $15, $20, $30, I don't know. So
I love that they don't have to even like break it down in terms of where it goes.
no, they call like convenience fees, or like it doesn't even say what it is. But because you cannot get the tickets from anywhere else, it's like either you don't buy tickets or you have to pay for the fee, which is like double, triple the price of your tickets. Yeah. So to go back to the Harry Styles concert in, I think it's Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like so many people, like tweets, articles, videos, like actually on YouTube there's so many videos about people giving tips and tricks on how to get into Ticketmaster and like buy concert tickets and stuff. Like it's an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they call like, I'm really good at it, I'm a professional, like I'm gonna tell you how to do this. And there's like tons and tons of videos of like, or like even people filming themselves trying to buy tickets, and it's like they're freaking out. Like they go through a whole process of like stressing out, and like they just like, it's insane.
I mean, it's like that for literally any big artist in the West. I know that. So the thing is, we talked about how you said like, oh, you have to have a special access and whatever. That's how it is controlled in the East, as far as I know.
Yeah.
There's like, that's why they have official fan clubs and whatever. Because if you have been a fan since the beginning, and they know it because you have like a number or some other shit like that, they like you will definitely get to go to the concert, and you'll have a more reasonable price because you're going to be one of the first ones to buy it. But with at the same time, I know that the same artist here is again insane to buy a ticket. Like for example, I know that there's like this group 17. I think I've seen only like one of their music videos or something like that. I really don't know anything about them, but I know that people were talking about how they're coming to Vancouver and how difficult it's going to be to buy a ticket. And then I saw someone saying that it's like a very expensive ticket. Let's see how much it is right now. Like I'm just curious, because I think people were saying that it was like maybe $300, something like that, and they're not even that big here, right? Yeah. Like they're not BTS. How the fuck did that happen, right? So let's see, because I'm just curious. Okay, so 17 Vancouver, the cheapest seat at the very back, right? $103. So let's see closer to the stage.
What website are you on?
$3,000.
Which website are you on?
Ticketmaster.
Oh. I wonder, like, can you try and see if you can get to like the basket and see if it's gonna give you the fees and everything? Even just for regular tickets.
So the fees, because it's 2 tickets, right? So the tickets are $159 together. It's not bad. It's like all the way at the very back. It's like the cheapest you can have, which is like $80. So you're paying $160, and then the fees are $17 service fee multiplied by 2, $6.50 facility charge multiplied by 2. What the fuck is a facility charge? I'm buying a ticket to go to a concert. Why am I supposed to be paying for a facility? It's supposed to be included in the fucking ticket. What do you mean paying the facility?
Because they own the venue.
And then order processing fee, $6. Oh, it's so hard to process it. It's not like it's a website. It's not like it's all programmed already. They are acting like there's like a person, a human being who's processing the goddamn purchase.
Yeah.
Fuckers. I swear to God.
So Harry Styles tickets. So these fans who had verified fan accounts, pre-sale access cards and everything, for nosebleeds, it was a minimum of $1,000. So like, and I don't know why they started calling these tickets platinum or whatever. Yeah, it's like the section 117, row 9, $1,500. Section 210, $450. Okay, that's a bit better.
Still bad. I remember when Adele came, and I think it was 2016
Yeah.
or something like that, like around that time. And I think that the tickets were like almost $600. But I think it was like buying tickets like literally really close to the concert, like maybe like a few days before. But yeah, I remember that it was like that expensive, and my friend was like, should we go? I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not going. And then she asked her parents, and her parents were like, oh, we can pay for your ticket. I was like,
Well,
do you
good
guys
for
do you guys not have anything else to do to be paying that much? We could go to 6 concerts
Yeah.
and like stand right next to the stage if it's anybody else but Adele. But now I guess it's not
No.
not like that.
Even like San Maria, the price can vary from like $100 to $400. Like, how do you explain that? Well, like, you know, they get you like, they select their seats. I've seen that in so many videos. They select their seats, they're in the baskets, they're paying for it, and then once they click to pay, it says, oh no, your ticket's already gone.
Aren't they? They're supposed to be like
get it.
locked for like 20 minutes or something, or like even 6 minutes. Sometimes they make it a really short window, but it's as long as you already in.
And it's like, when it's like a verified fan account and like you're like legit been following the artist for so long, you're part of like fan groups and stuff like that, and this is what you get.
Oh my god. Honestly, yeah, I mean, I guess it's like not up to the artist, I guess, right?
Yeah, because I guess someone like him, hairstyles, you're so popular that, and he had a bunch of concerts canceled because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably his first show in like 3 years in Canada.
I mean, I know that he's insanely popular, especially here, and I just don't think I quite get how this is popular. Like, not popular, but how this is possible? Because I think it's a little bit like, yeah, it's stressful, but I think it would be more fair if people could, if it's like first come first serve.
Yeah.
And if the tickets weren't already $1,000 fucking dollars right out of the gate.
At a kiosk, like, you know, people used to like sleep outside in a tent, so they would be first row at a concert and like come the day before, stay the night in the tent just so they could have access. Like, you know, first come first serve.
I don't see. I'm kind of confused about this whole thing, just because. How is it that expensive right out of the gate? That's what I don't get.
Yeah.
Because like they're saying they are prioritizing scalpers and whatever, but there are a lot of people who were sitting there like impressed by the second it dropped, and they're saying that it was also those prices. So how is that possible?
They were also saying like there's a lot of sales where they're like, oh, it's sold out in like 30 seconds or whatever. But there's also medias and articles and like journalists that were saying, or like experts who worked in the industry, saying that usually on the first day of pre-sale, they only sell like a very small percentage of the tickets. And then, especially in the States, they have like some like sort of deals with like credit card company and stuff like that, where you get more chances to have access to
Amex
tickets.
has that.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, you know, a little something.
You know what was really interesting? It was again with the One Direction tickets. I remember that I had a lot of friends who were like obsessed with them. I kind of like, I enjoyed participating in the craze. So I remember that a lot of like my friends were like the type of people who would like wait for the drop of the tickets, and they would also want to buy like the most expensive ones just so they could be like right there, and like you know, like in the beginning you were able to see the guys and like meet them, like go to a meet and greet or something. Obviously that wasn't the case when they were like massive, and when I was around, because I wasn't really friends with anyone who was a Directioner until until they released like Midnight Memories or whatever. I think that's the name of the album. I think that was the time when I was friends with people who were like really into them, and I was kind of like, I liked Harry. I was more of a Harry girl, but I was not as like into that whole thing.
Niall.
Of course you do. I knew that you would be an Nile girl. But yeah, I remember that like we had like there was basically like this system where you could buy a ticket a day earlier if you had an Amex card.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We're in Canada. Amex is only like when you are kind of like a person who goes back and forth.
Yeah.
And you have like, or you have a banking account in America. Because it's an American thing. It's not a Canadian thing. You can't just have an Amex as a Canadian if you don't have some kind of like thing going on in America.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting to use that system in Canada. It's like America thinks that it's Canada just like another state or something. Like,
I know.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know. I remember I was like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to buy this? We don't have Amex cards. What do you mean, right? But then like my friend was like, oh, my mom's friend has an Amex card or whatever, and we like bought it through that, and I was like, okay, like cool. I'll have like a good seat, even though like, you know.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
It's just like, I don't know. It's the weirdest shit ever.
Yeah. But yeah, to go back to Ticketmasters. So those tickets for hairstyles. This girl bought 4 tickets, which were $200 each.
Oh.
On top of that, she has service fees, which were $40 for each tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you got $158.
Mm-hmm.
And then processing fee, which is $5. And then $13 of taxes. And this is, I don't even know where her tickets are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And this is from Austin, Texas.
Excuse me? She wants your attention.
I think you're just very offended by the taxes and the fees.
I think so. Can you pick her up?
Come. Dashi.
Oh my god, she's lying down and showing her
I am
belly
not going
on the
for
floor.
Opa.
Hopa, we're not gonna be on the floor, please.
Is that pretty, Kitty? Come.
Oh my goodness. Anyway.
Well, anyways, so yeah, just a little something. Like, there's a lot of videos. I didn't even think it was a thing on YouTube, but yeah, like, oh my gosh, she's heavy. Butchonok.
No, she's not a bachonok. Look, she got no bachonaks on the sides. Bachonok means a barrel.
She had a little barrel belly.
Yeah, we have our own language, which is like a mixture of English, French, and Russian.
Yeah.
So sometimes we say words and we like forget to explain what the hell that's supposed to mean.
Only understands Russian, doesn't take English seriously.
She doesn't take it seriously. Like
So,
she understands some words, but she just doesn't think that you're being serious when you say it.
So
So.
I'm trying my best here. I do not speak Russian, technically. Only dog Russian.
Only dog Russian. Oh, Yoni baby. She's so Yoni. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about... Do you have anything else? Or do you want to talk about
There's
like the
a
best
lot more
concerts?
that we could discover. If you guys know anything about it or have any like
Experiences, let us
you
know.
want to share, like I'm just right now. This is all I'm listening to and looking at, because mind blowing.
Let's talk about the best concerts we've been to real quick.
You're
Because-
saying that in like such a serious way.
I think because we like have like 10 or
Yeah.
15 minutes left on this
Yeah.
episode.
First ever concert. First of all, what was your first ever concert you've been to? Like official that you wanted to go, not your parents took you to.
Okay. I've been to, oh my god, there's like this band, like it's a Canadian band. They were kind of like famous, but in Canada. Like they were kind of like pop band. I don't remember their name, but it was like, it was okay. It wasn't like great. And then it turned out that the main guy, I think it was the vocalist, maybe it isn't him, but someone from the group turned out to be like a predator or like a like something involved with essay and stuff like that. So I was like, ew. Headley, that's the name of the band.
Oh my
Headley.
gosh, yeah. Oh,
That took me a while. Holy shit.
I sort of knew them in Europe, but I don't. Maybe
Oh,
because
really?
I had Canadian, like Quebecois friends.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I remember they came to Calgary and we went to the concert because I think I was 16 when I went to that concert. I've been to another concert in Cyprus, and it was a concert of this group called Blistashi. I think I was like 14 or something, and it was at the club where I was not supposed to be there. I was not allowed to be there. I don't know how I got in, and I don't know how like someone allowed me to buy tickets to that because it was like a performance. It wasn't like a concert. It was like a performance at a club. Like you would have to be 18 to get in there. Yeah, Hope is just like scratching Cecilia's computer.
She's like gonna go on my little computer.
Yeah, she's got work to do. And I remember that it was like really weird because it was like the whole club was filled with cigarette smoke, and
back then it was legal.
To smoke in a club. Yeah, and like people were just like passing by, and like I got hit on by a bunch of men, and I remember being just like, holy shit, what am I like doing here? But also like I was kind of like having the time of my life just because
so fun.
But Istashi is like, it's kind of like a girl group.
Okay.
And they were like, they had like more like a sexy image. But I remember that when I was like, I think I was about 6 years old or something like that, my uncle, he's a kind of like more like, he's like probably 10 years older than me, but then 10 years younger than my dad. So he's kind of like not really, or maybe more, even younger than my dad, but basically than 10 years, maybe like 15 or something. He could be my older brother. Basically, like the difference between us, I kind of feel really weird calling him an uncle, you know, because of that. But
Frunkle.
Yeah, he bought me 2 CDs, and that was my like introduction.
Sorry, hope I just.
Oh my god.
The cable of my headphones.
Yeah, it was kind of like my introduction to like girl groups, boy groups, whatever. Because he got me 2 CDs. He got me a CD of Блестящие, which is like the Russian pop group.
What does it mean? Is there...
Sparkly or like something like that. Like yeah, it's the glittery or something like that. Like it's kind of like a description word, right? Like an adjective. And another CD of Wonder Girls, which suddenly comes from there, from Wonder Girls. So that's why I knew like the song So Hot, whatever. It's because he was half Russian, half Korean. So he brought me 2 CDs. One was the Russian girl group, another one.
So your uncle really influenced you.
He did, yeah.
It's funny that I'm
and I love that both of us.
Today.
Yeah.
I've never heard about it before.
Yeah, and you know, like in Russian culture, it's like not really like guys don't usually follow girl groups, but Korean guys do. So he was following girl groups and whatever, and like he came back from Korea and he brought me the CD and he was like, "This is my favorite group," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he was like, "They're so pretty," and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he was just like, yeah. So that was my like introduction to them. So I went to a concert with Blestящие, but they kept on changing their members, and like, yeah, I didn't really know all of the songs that they released afterwards or whatever. It's like a very confusing thing because entertainment in Russia is really weak. Like we got nothing going on there in terms of like artists and whatever, and that was kind of like part of that whole thing. That when I went to their concert, it was just girls singing, but it wasn't like anything.
So cool though.
Yeah, it still was really nice because I was 14 and that was like a thing. That was the first CD that I owned.
Like Nana and like, you know, the true girls that are like passionate fans of her from before, and then they come to the show. And
yeah.
Tokyo.
Yeah,
so cute.
Yeah, it was like really small venue, so I was standing like right next to them.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
My first concert was also a Canadian band.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was like so we have in the south of France, we don't really have too many concerts or like people coming in like the specific area because it's a lot of old people and stuff. So my first concert, I think I was 15. It was like so random at like a jazz festival, and it was Psalm 41.
Oh
yeah.
Oh my god!
And I went with my brother, bless his heart, and his friends.
Yeah.
He was nice enough to take me. I'm pretty sure it was my birthday as well, like best 15-year-old.
Oh yeah.
It was so fun. Yeah, that was my first concert. I remember like I was so excited. I was really into like pop punk rock. Oh
my god, me too. It's weird that I went to that like really pop concert.
Yeah.
But it's because there was no other options, to be honest. But also like I remember I listened to a lot of groups that like when I moved here I realized that they're kind of like like rock bands,
Yeah.
or like, and they have a little bit of a Christian vibe to them. I did not know that because I didn't understand the lyrics.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
it was just like rock music, you know,
Yeah.
like I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
And then I moved here and I was like, oh,
And, like,
they're a
back
little
then we did
Christian-y.
not understand
Yeah.
what
And
you
like,
were.
it's like a little bit, you know, like you understand the cultural, like,
Yeah.
place of
Yeah.
them in this culture, and you're like, that doesn't jive with me. Like, it's not something that works with my personality or with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Like, how did I even listen to this?
Well,
I don't
you
know.
didn't know. You enjoyed the music.
But also, I
guess.
went through a stage of just like listening to like music that wouldn't be like made fun of.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of, oh yes, I was kind of like afraid to listen to.
Be judged by people.
Yeah, especially because like,
I like these days as well.
yeah, like I kind of, I like different types of music. I don't have like a genre that I prefer, as like a person.
And I don't really care. Like, you can listen to whatever. Like, I'm never gonna judge, even if I don't specifically like the artist. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. Because
I
you
will.
enjoy it.
You know what? Wait. I will judge you if you're listening to Chris Brown
Okay, well, that's different.
or like R. Kelly. Nowadays, when you find out about everything.
I mean, by not judging is like, you know, like, they've done shitty things, and this is a whole different, you know, like, it doesn't matter which artist or, like, what area you're working or, like, you're famous for. Like, if you're a trash person, like, yes. If you support that, then it's a whole different thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, favorite concerts.
Favorite concerts. I think I will mention two. One of them was FKA Twigs. It was her tour, I guess. Vancouver, yeah. It was at the Orpheum. I had like a really great view, obviously. Orpheum is small. It's also really pretty because it's like kind of like a theater and everything. And I think that FKA fits that aesthetic really well. I think that it fits her better than like a what would you call that, like an arena or something like that, you know. It's more artistic and it fits her better, and she's such a good performer. Great costuming, great dancing. She had really good like stage not decorations, but what would you call that, like kind of like setup. Like, she had like a lot of changes, and
Remember how much you paid for the concert?
yeah, it wasn't that much. I think it was maybe 70, maybe something like that. Or, yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it was below 100 for sure. Yes. Hopa keeps on just like slapping her little paws and everything.
Work.
Yeah. And I think I really liked also this part of the performance where she was dancing with a sword. And that sword was kind of like pirate sword, like the curved one. I don't remember the name for it. And like, she was swinging that shit, and that's an actual sword, and it was like half dance, half like like martial arts performance or whatever. It was fucking insane. And then she also danced on a pole, and then she's so good at like pole dancing and stuff, and it was insane, honestly. Like, she just like has so many like weird ass skills that work so well for performance. Like, there was like a few moments where me and my friends were just like, oh, this is like the best thing I've ever seen.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
And the second one, I think, was the 1975 their last, the previous to last, I think, album. I don't remember the name of it. Something about conditional form or some shit. Anyway, so they had a concert at the UBC venue, and I think that there was like this song that they were playing. I don't remember which one. I think it was the Love It If We Made It or something like. Oh no, I Always Want to Die Sometimes or something like that. And I mean, the concert was good in general, but the reason why I remember it so much is because there was a butterfly in the venue for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was like this really beautiful, like kind of like sad but happy, kind of like a mixture of things song. I don't remember which one it was, whether it was one or the other, you know, it doesn't really matter. But I was kind of like really enjoying the concert, and all of a sudden I see a butterfly just like around me.
You're like, this is magical.
And it just kept on flying, and it was an inside venue.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know, I was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know, I just remembered it really like vividly. Yeah.
It's really cute.
What are you?
Oh my gosh. the two I can really think about right now. So when I was, I think, 17, I was like really into rock music. I was playing bass. That summer I was like part of a band and we had a little concert and stuff. And I happened to get tickets to go see the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It was during the Stadium Arcadium album. It was like at the Stade de France in Paris. And we got tickets for like the like the lower part. I don't know how you call it in English.
Floor?
The floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so outside venue in July, like they're so good. It's nothing special about their performance, like maybe fireworks or something, good lighting, like massive screens, but like they have such a presence, and like, you know, everyone knows about them. I don't, even if you're not really a big fan of rock music, you know about them, you know a few songs that you like. But yeah, it was like so good. I went with my best friend and my brother. So fun. I paid like 70 euros for these tickets. So
That's not bad at all.
no, and
Especially it's Red Hot Chili Peppers, so
yeah, we were pretty close to the stage too, actually.
Yeah.
Like we managed to like sneak in because we were like pretty small and stuff. So that was so fun. Another one, I think I went in 2016, Mumford & Sons. In Paris as well. I was my sister bought me these tickets for my birthday. Same, I was like next to the stage, like I could not be closer at the like barrier. It was so good. I think it's probably my number one show. I just love them so much, and it was so good. I was just very very close to the stage. It was like the Zenith in Paris as well, and yeah. It was amazing. I think it was, I don't remember.
Can you hear the licking?
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not true.
Okay, I'm just gonna let you guys know that the licking sound is just Hopa licking me for some reason.
Licking our hands.
Hello?
Yeah, Mumford & Sons, really good. I went to see them again in 2018 or 19 in Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah, at BC Place. Like, still a great show, but it was more expensive, and I was pretty far from the stage. But still amazing performers. What about venues? What's the favorite venue you've ever been to?
I've been to... Okay, so I forgot to mention also another concert that I really liked, but it was also because of the...
I have so many.
Yeah. I went to Kevin Abstract. I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
He's... Do you know Brockhampton?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the guy who... I think he's the one who, like, started it. I think. But he makes music on his own, too. And it was his first album... separately from the band, and it was his first tour. And I actually didn't know about Brockhampton. I knew about him, which is weird because Brockhampton was already pretty big, and like nobody knew him separately. They just knew him as like part of Brockhampton. I don't know why it was the opposite for me. I just kind of stumbled upon one of his songs, and then I like listened to the entire thing. It was like basically about like a like an experience. Like his music video is really good for that era too. He's basically like, it's like an album about like the gay experience in America as like a black guy who's gay, who's like, you know, in this kind of environment and whatever. And the concert was in Ballroom Cabaret. Yeah. Have you ever been? Yeah. Yeah, so it was there, and the stage is basically just like, it's not really a stage, it's just like this, there's like a little separation. Yeah. But it's basically all like on the floor, right? Yeah. And the place, I was literally standing right in front of him.
That's so amazing.
He was just standing in front of me. Yeah. Like, it wasn't even, like, on a bit of an elevation or anything like that. Like, no, he's just, like, standing right in front. And then he sat down, and he was, like, singing to us. And then,
cool.
And then at the end of the concert, we, like, run up on stage, and we, like, danced around with his props.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
as you do.
It was honestly, I have pictures of him just like sitting and like singing right in front of me, like not even like, and then that was like such a good experience just because, obviously, there's a lot to say about like big shows that have like fireworks and other shit, but there's something about being in this small space with an artist, and like having a few drinks, and there's like, you know, like tables around, you can go sit down, and also I like that it wasn't like so packed that it was impossible to breathe. I honestly, even if I really love the artist, if if I'm standing to people really close and we're literally touching like fish in a barrel, I'm out of there.
Yeah.
I don't give a flying fuck how much I like the artist. I am not standing there. I'm not being pushed against something to like, you know, lose my consciousness and whatever. Also, I'm anxious as hell.
Yeah.
And like, it's not that bad for me right now because I am medicated, you know?
Yeah.
But when I was before then, God, even that...
didn't know either.
I didn't know that I had it. And like, that was fucking disgusting. Every time I would go to like a concert or something, it would like drive me insane. I would get the worst panic attacks. And then I realized that I just can't be that close to people, first of all. And second of all, I have anxiety.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like festivals. I went to a festival that was like 2 days, but I didn't like stay there for the night. I was in the city so I could go back home, but I didn't come the next day because I got a fever at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was too hot for me, even though it wasn't that hot. It was goddamn Calgary, and it was like 24, 26 degrees. Like, I'm not, I think it was like maybe around that, but I like hated that experience so much. I goddamn hate festivals because it's like, it's just so tiring.
Yeah, it's really an experience. I don't think it's for everyone.
No, I would rather
experience.
pay and go to a concert.
Yeah.
Go back home after 2 hours.
Fair enough.
Also, by the way, I fucking hate that Western artists are always late. If it says that it's supposed to start at 8 p.m., you better fucking start at 8 p.m. I don't want to hear any excuses.
I don't remember any bad experience with that, but I don't know.
No,
maybe
like it's always like that because the ticket says 7, for example, and then they say that like the artist is gonna come out at 9.
Yeah.
Because there's also like not 9, like 8, let's say, right? So then like the venue opens at this time, whatever. There's an opener who starts an hour early, right? But then the opener starts at the time of the band, and then the band comes out at like 10 or 11, and I'm like, what the fuck are you? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
But for me, it makes sense because the show starts at this time. The opener is going to start, and then the band's going to play.
No, they say like the band is gonna come out at this time.
Oh, okay. But
the opener starts at this time. The doors open an hour early or like half an hour early or something. I don't give a flying fuck to see anything else but what I paid for. I want to come in, see it, and get the fuck out. All of that bullshit with like spending 4 or 5 hours in the venue, you can go fuck yourself, to be honest. I hate it so much.
Why so much anger?
Because I hate it. Because I hate it. And then the thing is, like, I heard like there was like a scandal with Ariana Grande. She was like an hour late to a concert, or like to start the concert, but it was in Japan, and people were pissed because obviously
they're not used to that.
People are not used to that in Asia. And I was like, exactly, that's how it's supposed to be done. What do you mean you're gonna start in 3 hours after after it's supposed to start?
3 hours is a lot.
Or like, okay, 2 hours. Even 2 hours is a lot. What are you doing back there?
Unless you have a legit reason, I can deal with 30 minutes.
No, do you not know what time it is? Do you not know when you said you're gonna come out on stage? Why am I supposed to be wasting more of my time for something that I paid for to have a good experience? Why am I supposed to be eating those goddamn, like, you know what, the worst food also at the venues? It's always those like goddamn hot dogs. Anyway.
Are you okay?
No.
Did you get it out?
No. I never get it out. You know that. I'm always angry. What do you mean? This is just the beginning.
About cute venues and favorite concerts.
And now I'm talking about things that piss me off.
That's just a typical conversation with us.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more chill than she.
I mean, someone has to say something, right? Like that's why I'm like, when people were like, "Oh, she was just an hour late. What's the big deal?" I'm like, respect my time. I respected your time. I showed up on time. Anyway.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
So in my hometown, we have like, again, because there's not a lot of shows organized in this area of France, we have like it's kind of like a festival, but it's the whole summer, and you have a show I think it's like every weekend you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday night shows. And it's in the middle of a vineyard. It's like a very small stage. And you like can buy the wine from the vineyard. There's like a little swimming pool. It's closed during the concert, but they have like pool parties and stuff and brunches. And no matter where you are, you can walk around. You can just like go for a stroll during the show, go buy your wine.
See, that's a place where I wouldn't be too pissed off about waiting.
And no matter what, they have like a limit of guests they can have, which is never gonna change. I was actually I took photos for them. I think when they celebrated their 10 years, they wanted like a bunch of like students and stuff to go and help, so I did that. So I got access. I talked to like the guy who created it, like the whole staff. It's like whole like, because basically it's his family house in the vineyard. So the artists stay at the family house, which is why they don't have like very expensive tickets, because basically they have the artists stay just like in an Airbnb. They cook for them, they have like a chill time by the pool in the south of France, like they drink wine and stuff, so like they're always excited to go there. It's mostly like very popular artists in France that go there, and you get to see them in a very small stage surrounded by vineyards, and it's like you're so close to them. Like, it's so fun. I had some of the best shows with European artists on that stage and didn't pay very much money for it. And, it's pretty great.
Yeah, see, that's, like, more at my alley, you know? Because the thing is, like, going to concerts here, like, you go to, like, a really, really big venue. First of all, you're already, like, even if you paid a bunch of money, you're still, like, they're really high elevated. You have to be looking like this, right? Yeah. If you get a ticket that's like more in your field of vision, they're kind of small. You have to be looking at the screen. Yeah. What's the point? I can go and watch a YouTube video and see them in more
the sound.
Higher quality.
Sound is better.
I guess. Because sometimes the sound guy is not doing a good job either. But in any case, and what I hate the most is like, you go there, the rows are really small, so it's really hard to stand or to dance or to enjoy yourself. The venue is always fucking covered in Coke, like Coca-Cola, spilled everywhere. You walk around in your shoes, like they get stuck to the floor, and also like they get stained too. One of my I had a good pair of shoes that I was wearing for years, and they got ruined because I went to a concert and someone just like spilled a bunch of Coke everywhere, and it got on my shoes and it literally eroded the color away.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a really fun concert I've been to in Vancouver. I think it was maybe the Orpheum or something, of like a French singer who came, and I brought my one friend who doesn't speak French, and same for her. It was so fun. It was a very small venue, it wasn't too expensive, and it was such a good show.
I mean, every concert I went to that was at the Orpheum, I enjoyed. I enjoyed every concert that was at the ballroom.
Oh, was it? Commodore.
Commodore.
I may have been at the Commodore.
Every concert I went to in those two venues I enjoyed, but every big stage one, I think that I only enjoyed the 1975.
I've been to Queen Elizabeth. I saw First Aid Kit, and it was really good too because the acoustic is phenomenal. The only thing that's kind of annoying there is you can only sit. Like, even for a band, like, they're pop rock music.
This is all the time that we have for today. We can talk about concerts some other time, or, like, when we're going to be talking about music and some specific artists, we'll talk about it.
This was fun, though.
Yeah, just because, like, we're already an hour and 30 minutes in, you know how, there's going to be so much fucking editing.
Well, someone got carried away with anger.
Okay, we'll see you in the next episode.
Hopefully this sounds better. Do you like the setup? I don't know. I tried. Have a good day or a good night.
Bye.
Bye.